What is up? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the politics and BS. Listen, Janet Jackson, I'm giving her a major side eye, okay? And I am like, why is this even a discussion? We have talked about this over and over again, and clearly she has not gotten the memo. So she was questioned about Kamala Harris, and I don't know like why it even got to that, but she was speaking on her ethnicity and said that she's not black. That's what I heard, that she's Indian. Her father's white. The nerve, right? The absolute unmitigated gall to sit and talk about someone's racial identity when what she identifies as is not even something that is important. Race is a social construct. It was created to divide and conquer. That's why we're talking about this, because it was meant to divide and conquer. So she is speaking on Kamala's ethnicity, and instead of just saying, you know, I'd rather not share my thoughts on the race or whatever, I would respect that more than what she said. And then she backtracked, and really not so much backtracked, but said she deeply respects Kamala and apologizes for any confusion that she caused. Like, what are you talking about? What we're confused by, but most people have just come to respect it because really it's none of our business. But what we're confused by is the fact that Michael Jackson has 3 children. We still don't know if they're biologically his, but most don't believe that, because even though his skin color may have turned white, his genes and his DNA did not. So how in the world did those children come out without a speck of melanin at all? But people have just grown to respect the fact that Paris, Blanket, if he still goes by that, and the other one, whatever his name is, are his children, right? Because even if he and his ex-wife Debbie Rowe, who was a white woman, actually did create those children together, there's no way that those children would look the way that they do based on his DNA. But I digress. People have just come to respect that and say it ain't none of our business. So the fact that she was asked about Kamala and then she says that she's not black, she's Indian, and her dad is white. Well, if her dad was white, wouldn't that mean she wouldn't be Indian? Actually, it would just still be that she's biracial, but 100% it would mean that it does not even matter. This is something that I'm extremely disappointed by that she said. And then her assistant came out and issued an apology over the comments because he's since come out to say that he's been fired because a rep for Janet Jackson revealed that she didn't authorize an apology for comments that she made about hearing Kamala was not black. So is that meaning that she's standing on what she said? And that she actually is still like giving Kamala the side eye? They say, no, she ain't black because I heard her father's white and that she's Indian. It's just so stupid. But the guy who was the one that made the statement on her behalf, he came out to say that he's been fired. He said, I was fired by Janet and Randy after attempts to improve her image in front of public opinion and her fans, and this is something I do not deserve. Honestly, she didn't deserve to have her image trying to be repaired based on what she said, because she meant what she said. And when people come out to make these half-hearted half-assed apologies that they really don't mean. I don't care if it comes out of their mouth. A lot of times I really don't care either way, because you really meant what you said in the first place. It's one thing to say one thing and it's just a little bit of misunderstanding, and then it's another to just basically blurt out something that we know you really meant, and then you want to come back to say that if I was misunderstood, I apologize. And it's like, no, you really don't mean that. You're just upset that other people are upset, and you want to try to fan the flames and cool it down a little bit. So I agree with him that he didn't deserve to be fired, but I will also say that she didn't deserve to have her image to try to be restored and repaired. And then the news broke that is he former, or is he still a rapper? Because I haven't heard anything about him since the Sydney Star situation. But he was on a flyer where he was going to be not recording. Why did I say recording? He would be performing at a log cabin Republican event. And so when he was listed as a performer on this flyer, my thoughts were not just why is he performing there, but honestly, how did they even know who he was? Like, seriously. And I know that they get a lot of low-level Black people to perform for them these days, because that's really all they can get is scraping the bottom of the barrel. But even with that being said, Chingy, like, what would he perform? Could you really see him performing there? What would he actually perform at this Republican event? But people were going hard on him for that. People were like, oh, he's canceled. And I'm thinking, I thought he already was. Maybe for reasons that he should not have been canceled for, because of the Sydney Star posing with a trans woman situation and whatnot. But I digress. I thought he already was canceled, because what does he really have going on right now? So with that being said, people are like, oh, damn, you a Trump supporter now? And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm a Chingy supporter. My job is just performing. It's not about the politics. And so he's now backed out of performing at the event, because he said, I don't want to be in the middle of the mess. I have declined performing. And no, I'm not a Trump supporter. Now, here's the thing. I talked about this several weeks ago. And I talked about Chrisette Michele being canceled, quote unquote, for her performing at the inauguration or whatever it was. I don't even know if it wasn't really at the inauguration. It was just some event that they were having around the time of the inauguration. She performed with the gospel artist, can't remember his name right now, but they performed together. They actually did one song together. And she was obliterated for that, and I don't think she ever recovered from that. Some people question, well, maybe it has something to do with her attitude. On top of it, people just didn't really like her. But I love Chrisette Michele's music. I really do. She has a beautiful, amazing, powerful voice. And again, I don't know any of these people personally, so I wouldn't be surprised by anything that goes on in their personal lives, especially in light of the Diddy stuff that's coming out. But with all of that being said, he can back out. And I mean, honestly, it's not like he's on top right now, so there's not a very far way for him to fall. But he's just like, yeah, I'm not a Trump supporter. I was just going to be performing at the event. I was getting paid to do it. I need the money. Get off my back. He should have just went for it and did it, because I'm quite sure he needs the funds. But I guess he's saying he's going to stand on his principle and he doesn't want all of the backlash. I don't know. But like I said, when I talked about Chrisette Michele, whether people liked it or not, she didn't come out to endorse him. She didn't come out to say she voted for him. She didn't come out to say that she was standing by him because of her religious beliefs or anything like that. She was just performing, doing a job, because that is what she does. She sings. She gets paid to sing, and they hired her to do it. And so she did, and they canceled her for it. But yeah, Chingy backed out, and Janet Jackson said, I said what I said. I did not authorize this apology. I still don't believe that Kamala's a black woman. Her dad is white and her mom is Indian. And it's like, girl, do you even vote? Like, seriously, your child is biracial. Your nephews are biracial. Maybe some of the nieces are. I don't know. But the fact that she is sitting and questioning someone's racial makeup and identity is laughable to me, especially when it comes to Michael Jackson's kids, which still are an anomaly, but people just let them live, let them breathe. Those are his children. We respect it, however they got here, whether it was through his loins or not. Most people don't believe that they were, because those kids would be looking a whole lot different if they were. But yet and still, the fact that she sat to question Kamala's racial makeup is crazy to me. So you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.
For being willing to talk to us. I think we'll just jump right into it. Do you deny that this account is you?
Well, first off, let me say thank you so much for allowing me to come here and clear the air. We absolutely do. This is not us. These are not our words, and this is not anything that is characteristic of me, nor has it ever been. The people here of North Carolina know I have been completely transparent about my history. All the warts, we put them all out. We let folks know about it. But the folks here also know my character. They know who I am. They know my voice, so to speak. This is not my voice. This is not things that we would ever say or even think. And so absolutely we do.
How do you explain all of the matching details on this profile? The profile on Nude Africa lists your full name as Mark Robinson. The email listed on the account is an email that you have used elsewhere on the internet, including with your photo. You have used that name, Mini Soldier, on multiple social media accounts, including Twitter, Pinterest, Black Planet, and YouTube. How can you deny, with all of these matching details, that this is you?
Look, I'm not going to get into the minutia of how somebody manufactured these salacious tabloid lies, but I can tell you this. There's been over $1 million spent on me through AI by a billionaire son who's bound and determined to destroy me. The things that people can do with the internet now is incredible. But what I can tell you is this. Again, these are not my words. This is simply tabloid trash being used as a distraction from the substantive issues that the people of this state are facing. We have addressed it. We have said it's not true. And we wish we could move on and get busy with the business of the people of the state.
Okay, well, these posts, they do take place over a 5-year period from 2008 to 2013. You mentioned AI. Are you saying that somebody was somehow manufacturing biographical details to exactly match you using your username?
Look, I have no idea how this was done. I have absolutely no idea how it was done. And I have 5 weeks left in this campaign to focus on the substantive issues that North Carolinians face. I do not have time for tabloid trash.
There have been rumors that some of your campaign staff have quit. Can you tell us if that's true or not?
Absolutely not, and we are not getting out of this race. There are people who are counting on us to win this race because, again, we don't want a governor who's going to be a person that can't be counted on to tell the truth. And I can assure you, my opponent has been taken to court for not telling the truth in campaigns. And he's been completely dishonest in his ads against me. This camp is so desperate to destroy us. It's just like Clarence Thomas said years ago. This is a high-tech lynching. And, back long years ago, they used to use rope. Now they're using cable.
Now, Lieutenant Governor Robinson released a video on X shortly after our interview, underscoring that he plans to still stay in the race.